Nice. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second part of this new livestream series where we are building a real life project using Webflow, Wized, and Supabase. We are building a community forum. Last Friday was the first day. Today, we are continuing. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a recap of what we did and what we're going to do today, and we'll just dive into it. Now, I'm going to warn you, I am not at and I think that my internet it's not the best of all. So if at some points I freeze and there's something that goes lost, don't worry, I'll just repeat it. Should be fine. But I'm reading the comments, so I'm here with you. If you're watching this afterwards, we'll probably be adding timestamps at the bottom of the video, so it's easier for you to be following everything that we are doing. Hey, Silso. Nice, because this is a probably a long live stream series because we're building everything from scratch, meaning that there are things that sometimes you're going to be see me building things in Webflow, sometimes you're going to see me building things in Wized, sometimes you're going to see me building things in Supabase. Maybe you're interested in everything, maybe you're just interested in one specific part. So keep in mind that we are always try to add timestamps at the bottom so it's easier for you to follow or skip anything that you want to um, skip. So without further ado, I think that we are ready to jump in. I see some people saying hi, Glenn. Nice. Thank you, Glenn, for coming. Thank you, Silsa, for coming as well. Love it. All right. So let's do a quick recap of what we've done since last Friday. And here we are sharing the screen. Thank you, Gabe. By the way, Gabe, I will not be seeing the live stream page all the time. So if I freeze, send me a DM or something, and I'll try to backtrack and explain things again. All right. So on the first live stream, we did everything related to authentication. So we built the sign in and sign up pages. We also set up the Wized, the Webflow, and the Supabase project. So we've got the Supabase project with authentication already implemented. We can see the first user who signed up, which is me. And we have the Webflow built with just some basic things. I already warned you, this is not going to be a live stream where I do magic design. I will try to just do functional design. So everything will be working as a production grade application, but it's probably not going to be beautiful. But we've got the sign in page, we've got the sign up page as well. We can navigate as well here at the top nav bar. We can sign in, we can sign out, and that's it. So we did a breakdown of everything that we want to implement in here. And in this breakdown, we essentially decided that we want to go with some, well, the features are going to be some basic community forum features. So we've got profiles, we've got categories, navigation, posts, comments, and voting. That's the basic of the forum. And then we want to implement some moderation tools for admins. There's going to be admin roles. We will have reporting. Probably the admin roles will have some additional permissions, like being able to read everything, to remove comments, to do some things. And then we will also add notifications to see what you've missed since the last time that you came. Anybody commented on your thread, anybody upvoted you, whatever. And then also, I would love to involve Stripe somewhere in here so people can see how to make payments. So we're going to come up with some kind of paid service, maybe like memberships, or I don't know. We can always give it a thought. So we came up with all these different screens, which some of them are implemented already. We're going to have some home with the navigation, with categories and post listings. Then we're going to have the sign in and sign up pages, which is what we did on the first live stream. That's already done. The next thing, which is the first thing that we're going to tackle today, is the profile. So we want to be able to manage our profile, upload a picture, change my public name. Maybe we can have like a public username, and then we can have our own name and last name. We can manage the email, etc. All that stuff in the profile. Probably in the future, we can also do something like posts that we have created. Actually, that's cool. Let me put it like maybe a section that is called my activity, something like that, right? So we can see if we have created any post, if we've got some notifications as well. We'll see. And then we'll have content related things. So we've got the category page that will list all the posts of a specific category. We will have a post page so we can see the post body, who has posted it, what content was in there. Maybe we can add a tag system as well. We can have the voting. We can have a comment section so people can comment your post. And then we will have just a page dedicated to creating a post. So, well, yeah, that there's no secret in that. Right? So, I don't want to hold you. I think that we are ready to jump in. If you have any questions, as I mentioned, just let me know. I will try to address them while I build this. And just one last disclaimer. Before doing this new live stream series, we've been doing a bunch of um, live streams talking about everything Wized and Supabase. So all the functionalities that we're going to be implementing here have been already explained in previous live streams. But in those live streams, I explained the feature itself, but I didn't show how to build something with that feature. So I explained how to authenticate, but I didn't explain how to implement, authentication in a forum. Or I explained how to upload a file, but I didn't explain how to build a profile image uploading so a user can change it. Probably you get the drill, right? So I will not be getting that much in depth into explaining the feature, but I will be trying to build it as quick as I can while I explain out loud, so you guys can follow along and not get bored. Right. Okay. So looking forward to the stream as I will be building with this exact stack soon. Nice. Okay. Then you're in luck because we are doing a lot of with Supabase lately. Nice. All right. So let's get into it. Let's go and do the profile page. So in this profile page, I'll just start by duplicating what we have right now. Actually, let me fix something super quick because I got a button here, but this should be nav manually because it's this different styling. It's getting me. Ugh, ugh. This is ugly. Hold on. Let's do a transparent like that. Better. Okay, now it's looking better. Okay, cool. So let me duplicate this page and let's create the profile page. So let's do profile like that. Okay. And in this profile page, first of all, what we want to do is list show my user data. Hold on. Our service encountered an expected error, failed to create a page. Thank you, Webflow. Why you do this to me? Am I live? I am, right? Yes, I think so. Let's try to refresh. Let's see if Webflow is in our site today. Oh, look at that. We've got the page. Okay, great. So we've got the profile page in here. And let's start by just for the sake of knowing what we're dealing with, let's do a paragraph. Actually, no, not a paragraph. Let's do a custom element. And in this custom element, I'm going to do a code tag. Yep. Code tag. Like that. Great. No attributes needed. Is this a code tag? It is. Perfect. Because I want to see the user, just as I mentioned, for the sake of knowing what we're working with. So in the previous live stream, we already did something, which is that we implemented everything related to the authentication and as well getting the user, right? And we implemented an event that says, hey, every time that the page loads, try to get the user like that. Also, we did also, we make sure that if we try to go to the sign in and sign out and sign up pages and we are already logged in, you can see how I am being redirected back to the homepage. That was implemented in the first live stream. So now that we are getting the user every time that I'm loading a page, it's all a matter of checking our data store and seeing, all right, so we've got this. Let me make this small a bit. And in the data store, we can see how the get user is coming with some data because I'm already logged in here. And I've got an ID, authenticated role. I've got my email, the phone, and then we've got some metadata, some user metadata, and some identities related to how I'm logging in. Created at, is anonymous, blah, 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 all these things. Great. And in here, essentially, let's start by doing, do we have a name in here? Maybe we don't have a name. All right, let's go to Supabase. Let's see if the user does have a display name property, because I'm seeing it in here. And that it's supposed to be sub email. I want to know if Supabase has a built-in field for adding the name and username and all that stuff, or if I should create some metadata fields to store that data. So let's see. Raw user metadata, logs or review, invited at, confirmed that, provider information, danger zone. No, but we've got this display name. Now the thing is, how do I know what this display name field is in this raw JSON? Instance ID, auth, role, email, encrypted, email, invited, confirmation, recovery email, raw app metadata, providers, no, raw user metadata, sub email, no, subadmin, confirm that. Weird. Supabase, why do you show me this column in here if there's no way of changing that? Let's check for a second. When we update a user, we can pass things like the user metadata. Yep. Stay with me. Give me 1 second. The data can be the user metadata. Looks like all we can do is update the user metadata. So we're going to work with the user metadata. That's it. Because I don't see anything else related to updating a public name and things like that. So let's stick with the metadata. And the metadata, it's what you can see in here. You can see this user metadata. Right now it's coming with some data, but we can potentially also add some more data. We can, for example, store things like my name. We can store things like my profile picture, because I want to be able to upload and download, not download, sorry, but change my profile picture. And we can also potentially use a username as well. Yeah. All right. Great. So let's do this. Let's go to Webflow. No need for this code, actually. Let me skip this. And let's do, we can do a section in here. Actually, yes, let's make this a section. And this section will include the, let's add a container, first of all. Do I have a container? Oh, hold on, we already have a container. So let's do a div. And this is gonna be a profile info. So let's make this a grid with just one row, 2 columns. This is gonna be one column will be for the picture and the other column will be for my data. So in here, let's start with the picture. Well, let's do both things. Here would be the picture. So let's add an image in here. Let's do profile picture, for example. And this profile picture, set some margin as well. Margin medium, let's do large. Great. This profile picture, let's just make it round to be a bit designy. Nice. And we will want to be able to change this profile picture. So it's not only about displaying the profile picture if it exists, because it might not exist. So we will have to add a fallback for that. But if it exists, we will display the profile picture. If not, we will be, let's add an input. Actually, no, custom element, because we cannot add here things. And that custom element should be in a form, obviously, because it's going to be a upload picture form. So let's do that. Let's add a form like that. And this form, we don't need the success message. We don't need the error message. All good. And in this form, let's remove everything. I want to have a file input. So this is going to be a custom element, but it will not be a tag, will be an input. Input will be a type file like that. Great. So I could style this better, probably. Yeah, let's style this better. Let's do, I know that there's a way CSS to remove this. So let's do a bit of digging. CSS, how to remove input file label, something like that. Remove the label next to this. I could be using ChatGPT. I don't know why I'm doing this, but the input, put the input inside a label element, hide the input, and install the label. Oh, nice. So that will allow me to do a button. Oh, okay. I like it. Or overflow hidden, turn the font color transparent. Oh, look at that. I prefer this one. Okay, so color transparent, overflow hidden. Okay, let's try it. So profile, picture, input. So let's do this. So this is going to be flow hidden and background transparent. No. Choose files, color transparent, not the background, sorry, the color. The color transparent. All right, fair enough. I'm not a fan of it because we are essentially still having the label, but fair enough. Why not? I don't know. Let's not spend a lot of time in this. Let's leave it just as is, okay? It's gonna be an input. So let's add some margin at the bottom. Let's do 1 rem, for example. Great. So we've got this. Perfect. And now, maybe here we can also do the content. Let's do profile content, and we can do this. Nope. We can do this flex like that. Great. These can be aligned in here. Perfect. And then we can also use this in here to add some of the info. So this can be, we can potentially do a form in here as well, because I want to display things like my name, my email, and what else? The name, the email, the username. Maybe you could also do things like my birthday and stuff like that. What should I do? Let's start simple. Let's do a form. Actually, I don't need this. This could simply be a form as well. And this as well. Yeah, why not? I like to simplify things. Stay with me. This will make sense. So this will be profile content like that. Great. And then I'm going to do another form as well. And this form, yeah, I need this, and this form again will be profile content. Nice. And let's add some things. So first of all, let's add a label, and that's going to be my email, like that. So at least we can see the email. And let's add an input, type email, like that. But also this input for now, just for the sake of simplifying, I'm going to disable this input. And we cannot add a disabled. Come on, why not? Sometimes we have to deal with the limitations from Webflow. So instead of doing the built-in input, let's do it ourselves. Let's do, this is going to be an input of type text. Great. It will be disabled. And also we can add the class of W input to make it look like Webflow. Why not? Look at that. That's something. Okay. Great. So we've got this. Then let's add another one. This is going to be username. And in here, because this one we want to be able to update it, we are going to do an input, normal input, like that. And this is going to be, yeah, my username, like that. Great. And lastly, what can we do with the profile? Something else. Let's store something else. The username, the email. Let's add the birthday as well. Why not? So this is going to be birthday. Yay. So this, because we cannot add type dates inputs in Webflow, we're going to do the same thing, and we are going to create it using a custom element. So this custom element will be an input of type date, like that. And I want to reuse the styling from Webflow, so this is going to be W input as well. Nice. Great. Well, I think that it's not looking that bad, right? Hopefully this is fine, I guess. Nice. Okay, so we've got this. Now, we have to jump into Wized to do this. But first of all, we need to identify the elements, because right now, none of these elements are can be used with Wized. We need to identify them. So let's go one by one. This is going to be an attribute of Wized. Let's do profile picture, like that. Celso, thank you for backing me. Nice. Then let's identify the form. This is going to be Wized. Let's do profile picture form. And because we're going to be using a form, this means that this input here, we want to add a name to it. So actually, yeah, we don't need a form in here. We don't need this form because we just need this input, right? So anytime that this input changes, we are going to be uploading the image. So let's do this. Let's identify the input directly. This will be with profile picture input, like that. And then in here, I want to use the form. Oh, there's one thing that we're missing. The form button. Yeah. So we want this to be a button, and we want to change this to be something like update. Yeah. Nice. Now we're talking. Okay, great. Like that. And we've got the identified this. Yes. Let's identify the form as well. So this form will be with profile info form, for example. And because I will want to change the button to something like updating or update, depending on if we're submitting or not, I also want to identify this button. So we're going to say with profile info form submit. Yeah, great. Last thing, we want to make sure that the inputs in here have proper names. So this input needs a name, and this name will be an email. Then the next one will be a username. So let's add name username. And the next one will be name equals to birthday. Like that. Let's jump into Wized. We've got a comment from Copper Media. Catching up, was not aware of this before now. Interesting. We'll love it if user authentication and or membership could be connected with the Web3 membership solution, building a Web2, Web3 community. We can look at that. I think that first, what most people would like to see is how to connect to traditional um, type of services like Stripe. So, outside of Web3. But once we're done with the basics of the forum, if there's enough people interested in it, we can always explore adding some connecting some things to Web3 if you want to some. Honestly, I'm not very proficient on that, so I'll probably say some words that are not right. But to some decentralized service that memberships, I'm not sure. As I mentioned, let's focus first on implementing the basics, and then we can keep expanding it afterwards. Okay, nice. So let's start with some basics. First of all, we know that we've got the user in here, and the user contains all this info, but what we are interested in is the user metadata, right? Now, obviously, one of the things that we can do already is just fill the user email in here, because that's something that we already have. And the email can be found both directly in the user.email property or in the user metadata as well. As you can see, it is included. So let's try that. I'm gonna come here. Let's pick X-ray. And in here, let me move this to here. And in X-ray, because this is a form, we can pre-populate form values. So what I want to do is, hey, here I want to return an object. And this object can pass properties, right? So I can do, for example, this. Let me do this a bit smaller. So here, if I want, I can do, hey, and as you can see, because we are using a form, and the form identifies the names of the fields, by passing this object, username, birthday, I don't know, let's do 0101 9. Is it gonna work like that? No, I think that's the other way around. It's 90101. Is it like that? I think that we have to pass it as an ISO date. So let's skip the birthday for now. We can do that later. Okay, great. So you can see how we can prefill this, which means that we don't have a username yet, we don't have a birthday yet, but we do have an email. So let's do that. We have the email using r.getuser.data.user.email, like that, or user.usermetadata.email. Both things are fine. But because I know that this is in here, and I know that we're going to be destructuring from the user metadata, we can do this as well. r.getuser.data.user.user metadata. And from here, we can get properties. We can get the email, the username, and the birthday, like that. And we can return, oops, I closed it. And we can return it here, like this. Let me prettify this. Great. So as you can see, it is complaining now because the username and the birthday do not exist, but they will exist eventually. But yeah, actually that's fine, like that. It is absolutely fine. So you can see how now this is being already populated with my email. Great. And also there's no username coming, there's no birthday coming. But if I go to, can we update the metadata from here? Can we do it? I don't know if we can do it. No, we probably cannot do it. Okay, we have to do it ourselves. So let's do something. I'm getting ahead of time right now, but let's do something quick. And it's that let's implement a update user request so we can update the user now and see if this metadata it's being populated or not. So let's go to request. Let's create a new request. And this request will be update user. And in here, Supabase, this will be an update user. Yep. And you can see how I can potentially update the email, the password, the phone, and I can also update the user metadata. Look at that. Nice. So we have to pass a key and we have to pass a value. Now, let me try to remember for a second if, because I don't remember if this is a merging thing. Data, custom data objects store, this maps to the da. I think that it does not override. I think it just merges. Let's try it. So let's do username in here. Yep. And in this username, let's do Alex. Why not? Like that. Okay. And let's just play this. I'm going to play this. Success. Great. Look at that. All good. Perfect. So now in here, we've got the user metadata with the username property, as you can see. So if I refresh this, look at that. We've got our username here, pre-populated. Nice. Because it's grabbing the data from the metadata property and it's just dumping it in here. So the next thing that we want to do, let's put this in the auth folder, is that this update user property, it is being sent anytime that we submit this form. So anytime that we submit this profile info form, we want to call this user update user property. So here, instead of hard coding this, because I just hard coded it, let's do return f dot profile info form dot username. Nice. And let's also do another one for the birthday, like that. And this birthday will be r dot get user dot data. No, sorry, not get user. F dot my god dot birthday, like that. So we're grabbing the birthday field from the profile info form. And the next thing, again, is that when we submit this form, we want to call the update user property. So let's do this. Profile info form. When we submit it, we want to prevent default, yes. We don't want to reset the form, that's fine. We want to perform a request, and that request will be the update user. Also, as well, if the request is fine, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call again the get user request. So then we automatically get the updated user object in the data store. So everything is up to date. But I only want to do this if request of updating the user. Let's refresh for a second because it looks like it's not finding it. Come on. Well, let's do this. Update user dot OK, like that. So if the request is successful, the update user request, then we want to get the user again. But if it's not okay, then it's fine because nothing changed. Nice. So now anytime that we change this, that we update this, we should see how, let's open the data store. We should see how the user metadata is being updated. So let's try it. I'm going to say username Alex Iglesias. Let's update it. And look at that. Nice. So now Alex Iglesias, let me change it back. Update. Look at that. Yeah. Iglesias. Great. Nice. Let's do a birthday as well. Let's say that I just was born today. Let's update it. Great. We've got that in here. Nice. And if we refresh, look at that. Yay, it's being populated. Nice. All right, good. There's one thing though, is that I want to make sure that these fields are populated anytime that I update. Actually, do I want it? No, the username should be required, but the birthday, it is not required. It's fine. And the email, technically we don't need it as well, so we don't need it required. Okay, good. We're good. Nice. So this means that we are successfully updating this. Let me do it again. Update. Let's refresh. Nice. Great. Now, there's a couple more things that I want to do. First of all, let's grab this button because I want to change the text when we are updating. So because this is an input, this is not a button, this is an input type submit. That's what Webflow does. So if you inspect this, you can see that the form buttons from Webflow are not buttons, are input type submit. So if we want to change the text from this, we have to change the value property. So let's do that. Let's go in here and let's say, hey, the HTML attribute of the value, we want to have the value of our dot update user dot is requesting. If it is requesting, that we're going to say updating. Otherwise, we're going to say update, like that. So now, if we try this again, you can see how it's pretty fast, but it is working. While the request is happening, it is changing this. Nice, great. I can also submit using the keyboard as well because we're using form submissions. Great, okay. So that's one thing. Nice. Now, an additional thing that we should do probably is check if there is a username existing in here. But I don't want to drag this a lot, so I want to move this to the future to-dos when doing, more tweakings to make this even better. So let's go down here and let's add another section that is going to be called, just for the sake of not forgetting about it, improvements. And let's do ensure that username are always unique. So we're going to implement probably some Postgres function that catches anytime that we are updating the users in here. And we're going to check like, hey, all right, this user is trying to update the username property. Before allowing him to do that, let's check if that username exists. Because if it exists, we don't want to do that, right? So we're going to do something like that. But I don't want to do it today. I want to do it in the future. For now, let's keep it simple. Now, what I want to do is I want to jump into the profile picture. Now, the profile picture, first of all, I want to make sure that even if there's no profile picture, the image still has some size. So let's add some width in here. We can make this, I don't know, 12 rem. Yeah. Okay, so 12 by 12. Great. Let me do this for a second. And let's, nice. Okay, great. But as you can see, there is no imaging here, none. So first of all, what we can do is in the background of the image, we can add an image in here, making sure that, if we're loading or there's still nothing uploaded, we're still displaying something. And I want to display some fallbacks. So let's do profile picture placeholder, for example. Yeah, let's use an SVG. For example, there's one. Yeah, why not? Great, let's steal from Wikipedia Commons. Let's steal from Wikipedia. Great, so let's save this down. Yeah, let's do profile picture placeholder. And let's update that, upload that in Webflow so we can use this. So this profile picture placeholder, boom, there it goes. And we can use this as the background. So let's do an image, and that image will be this. And let's cover as well. Position centered. I think that it should show up. I think. Let's try it out. All right, good. So we've got this. That's a start. We've got some weird margin. We've got some weird things here, but okay, we'll fix it. So now what we want to do is when we have the profile, so when we have an image, we want to display it in here, right? So we need to do a couple of things. First of all, we want to be able to upload the images. And what I want to do is we're going to use, let's call this Supabase profile picture update. So what I want to use is Supabase Storage. Whoops, they should be large. Nice. I want to use Supabase Storage. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a bucket that it's called something like profile pictures. Okay, so this bucket will contain all the profile pictures from all the users. All right, so this is a bucket like that. And the way that we can do it is saying, all right, so if we know that in this bucket, we're going to store all the user profiles, we want to classify them. The way that we can classify them is either we dump them directly. So I would have user ID 1 JPEG, for example, and then user ID 2 JPEG. We can do that, or we can create folders, because maybe in the future we want to have more pictures uploaded. I don't know. So in that case, we could potentially create a folder and then in here say something like profile.jpg, for example. User ID 1, user ID 2. Not sure. What do you guys think? What should we do? I'm not sure what's the best way. For now, let's just dump the pictures. So let's do profile 1. Oops. So user ID 1.jpg. We can also allow some specific formats. So maybe we can allow JPG or JPEG or PNG. What are the most common? What are the most common picture formats? JPEG or PNG? Okay, we can do JPEG or PNG. Why not? Oh, WebP. Oh, yeah. JPG, JPEG, PNG, WebP. Nice. Thank you, Soso. Okay, great. So I want to create this, right? And then after storing the profile pictures, we are going to grab the URL of the profile picture, and we are going to update the user metadata. So this metadata, the user metadata with another field called profile picture. And that profile picture will contain the URL of the image, right? So let's do that. First of all, we need to create a bucket. So let's go to storage in Supabase and let's create this new bucket. And this bucket will be profile pictures, like that. The name of the bucket must only contain lowercase letters, numbers, dots, and hyphens. Okay, so this will be profile pictures with the hyphen. It is going to be a public bucket because we need to be able to display the profile pictures to everyone. So it's going to be a public bucket, but we will have some row level security to ensure that only authenticated people can upload to the bucket. So let's do that. Public bucket, like that. Additional configuration, let's restrict the file upload. Let's restrict the mem types. And mem types are these ones. Let's start with image JPEG and image PNG. Yeah, image JPEG, image PNG. Why not? Okay, great, safe. Perfect. Okay, so as I mentioned, we probably want to add some row level security to ensure that people is logged in to be able to upload things. But for the sake of testing and moving fast, let's do it now without any security. So potentially now everybody could upload anything to this bucket. Please don't do it. But potentially everyone can do it now. So we've got this. And what we want to do is, all right, anytime that we change this so that we add a file in here, we want to upload the file, get the public URL from that file, and then upload the, you update the user metadata to store that profile picture file, right? There's one extra thing that I want to do, and it's that because we have restricted this bucket to be only for PNG and for JPEG, we can also restrict the input, the file input, to also only accept this. So HTML file input restrict the type, because I know that there's a way of doing that. Yes, accept. So look at that. We want exactly this. We want to accept only image PNGs and image JPEGs. So let's do that. Let's go to Webflow. Let's choose this and let's add an accept. And this will be only for PNGs and for JPEGs. Nice. Great. Okay. Let's publish this. And now if I refresh this, I should only see as you can see, look at this. I can only see either folders or I can only choose the images. Look at that. So because I can only choose the images that are allowed, oh, you cannot see the pop-up. Okay, well, that's even better. But so for everyone, when I click on this, I'm getting the file choosing, in File Explorer. And I can only see, I'm only allowed to choose the types of files that we just accepted in the attribute, which in this case, it's the PNGs and JPEGs, right? So let's start doing things. First of all, we want to create let's add another request, and this request will be upload profile picture. Let's create another folder, and that folder will be profile, like that. And actually, the update user should not be auth, should be profile as well. Yeah. So, okay, so we've got the upload profile picture. This is going to be a Supabase, and the method will be a upload file, like that. So we need a couple things. First of all, we need the bucket name, which, if you remember, it is called profile pictures, like that. So let's do profile pictures. Now we want to have a storage path, and that storage path will only be, we want to store the file using something like the user ID dot the file type, because it can either be a PNG or it can be JPEG, right? So first of all, so we want to construct this path. We need to, let's do some templating, and we are going to do r.getUser.data.user.id, because we want to use the user ID for that. And then we're going to do a dot, and we're going to use the file type that we have uploaded. So this is going to be, let me upload something. Let me do an image. So as you can see, when I upload something, when I choose a file in the file input, I can see the file name, which is image.png. So I want to grab this type. If we inspect the data store, if we inspect the data store in here, general, let's go to inputs. Let me open this. If we go to the inputs, you can see how, look at this. We've got the name, and the name is called image.png, and here the type is image slash PNG, like that. So if the type is PNG, image PNG, we're going to use the extension of .png. If the type is image JPEG, we're going to use the extension of JPEG. So let's go back to the request. And in here, we're going to say I dot profile picture input dot files, and it's the first file. And right, it is the first file. Yes, it is the first file. And we're gonna grab the type, dot type, like that. But I prefer to do it cleaner. So let's do file type. And this file type will be this. Like that. Yep. So then we can do file extension. We can say, okay, if the file type is image / PNG, then it's going to be .png. Let's do just PNG. Otherwise, it's going to be JPEG, like that, right? So then this means that I can come here and I can say this. Let me not wrap so you see it better. So we've got the user ID dot the file extension, like that, right? And the file extension is going to be either PNG or JPEG. So if I play this, I've got this null. Why do I have this null? Hold on. Profile picture input files. I'm missing something. And the type I.profile picture input. Hold on a second. I.profile picture input dot files. If I do this, I'm getting this null. Probably because 0 dot type profile picture input. No, but it is fine. Okay, let's trust it. Let's trust it. There's something wrong with the autocomplete, but we're gonna trust this. Okay, let's trust this, and then we need to choose the file. So let's choose the file, and the file will be the I.profile picture input, like that, right? But I want to observe when you select the file is overwritten if it exists. Otherwise, an error is thrown if the error exists. Yes, I want to override if we're uploading this again. Nice. But when we want to call this, I only want to do it if this profile picture exists, right? Because if I change this and there is no file chosen, then there's not going to be anything in this. So let's create a trigger, and that trigger will be, hey, this profile picture input, when it changes, so let's add a change event, we are going to, well, conditionally, first of all, the condition must be that I.profile picture input dot length, it is greater than 0, because otherwise there's not going to be any file to upload. But if it is greater than 0, then we want to add an action, and that action will be perform a request. And request will be to upload the profile picture. Okay, so let me summarize what's happening. When we add an input in here, so when this changes, we're going to trigger the request, and that request will grab the file and will send it to the bucket. So let's try it out. Let me refresh just in case. And let's try it. So if I come here and I select image.png, let me open the data store. Let's do the upload profile picture so we can see it. So when I choose an image, Path must be a string. Okay, I definitely done something wrong then in here. So let me see. Let me go to the request. Storage path. I profile input dot files dot zero files zero dot type. Come on. Okay, hold on a second. Let me explore this live because there's something weird. So let's do some debugging. Yay. Okay, so we are on the live side. Actually, you need to sign in. So let me sign in. Alex Iglesias, fainstreet.com. And I think that the password was 123456789. 1234556. Yes. Okay. Okay, great. Let's go to the profile page. Nice. If I choose something here, let's inspect it. Wiz.data. And in Wiz.data, we've got Wiz.data I. Oh, okay. Because I don't need to use the files. Oh, okay. So there's a mistake in here. This is not files. This is just this, like that. And now we're talking. Okay, look at that. I was doing a mistake, sorry. Okay, great. Perfect. Nice. Then I think that there's something wrong in here. So I'm gonna check it because maybe there's a mistake in the autocomplete. Because as you saw, the autocomplete was writing here. I'm gonna check that. Okay, so now when we choose an image, let's do that again. Let's open this. When we choose an image, we should see how the request goes. And now we've got new rule violates rule level security policy. Okay, that means that we need to add a rule level security in here to allow people to upload files. So let's do this. Let's go to storage in Supabase. Let's go to policies and let's create a new policy. When creating a new policy, we can start from a template or we can ask AI and stuff like that. I think that there's going to be a template for allow access to JPEG images, give users access to folder only authenticated users, give users access only to their own top level folder, give access to a nested folder, gives users access to file. Nah, let's simplify it. Let's ask AI and let's say, create a policy for the storage bucket called profile pictures that allows users to upload files only if they are authenticated, like that. Thank you. Yes, we're okay. Yes, there's been some lag. Okay, thank you, Gabe. Essentially, I'm asking Supabase AI to create a policy that allows users to update a file, so upload a file, if the user is authenticated. If the user is not authenticated, then they will not be able to upload files. So by default, Supabase storage buckets, if they are public, everyone can read, they can download files from it, but still nobody can upload to it unless we define a policy. So that's what's happening. I've asked the Supabase AI to create the policy for me, and it looks like it's done it. So let's run it. Did it run? Let's see. No, didn't. Okay, so let's copy it. Let's copy it. Let's come to new policy, create policy from scratch, and the policy definition. Hmm. I think that am I dropping internet? Because I'm seeing some weird. No, I do have connection. Okay. And it's Supabase that it's failing. Come on, Supabase. Come on. Let's see if I can ask it again. Run it. Okay, now it was successful. Let's try it again. Profile pictures, policies. Oh, hold on. Okay, see, the policy was created. It isn't here. Allow authenticated users to upload profile pictures, but let's edit it because it's not applying to the to here, right? I want it to affect the profile pictures. New policy. No, new policy. Sorry, I want to edit this, and I want it to affect the bucket. So let's do, because it's not affecting the bucket. The policy should affect the bucket named profile pictures. Come on, give me the right query. Now, okay. So it's AI, as you can see, it can fail. Just be persistent and ask it things. So it has created this query. So let's try to run it only with check expression allowed for insert. Can I do this like that? Only with check expression allowed for insert. Huh. I'm getting a error. Come on. Instead, you should use the with check clause. Ah, okay. Replace the code. Yes. Accept. Let's try to run it now. Allow authenticated users to already exists. Ah, come on. I want to finish this. But we're in the right track. So let's remove this. And now let's try again. Let's see if we can run this query. No, we cannot. Let's do it from here. Okay, success. Policies. Okay. Sorry guys, I think that this was a bit messy, but I've managed to do it. So now you can see how the storage policy is attached to the profile pictures, not to other policies on their storage objects. I want it to be specifically to profile pictures. And this policy, what it does is, what it says, it allows um, it allows only authenticated users to upload profile pictures. So if we did it right, we should be able to test it again. Let's see. Server error again. New role violates a role level security policy. It's blanket saying Grok or ChatGPT are better than Superbase's assistant for a SQL. To be honest, tested them all now just using Grok. Okay, that's good. Good to know. Thank you. Okay, let's see. We are getting still a error from Supabase. So let's try to debug this. First of all, the path is coming right. Let's see. The file, it is coming right as well. Maybe if we just upload the first file, let's try this again, because maybe that's what I'm doing wrong. Let's see. No, still violating this row level security. So it's definitely the row level security. We've got something in here. Edit. Authenticated. Public. Okay, let's try to do from a template. Super quick. So this template says allows access to JTP track, allowing access. This gives access to a specific file. Let's add a policy just to allow everyone to upload, just for the sake of moving fast. So let's do create a policy that allows everyone to upload to the bucket called profile pictures, like that. Because I don't know if what's the failing, it's the policy that we've created, but we're gonna see. Okay, so let's run this. Okay, great. Let's close this. Let's go back to storage. I'm gonna get rid of that policy for a second. So let's delete this. Okay. Let's try it again. Come on. We can do this. I want to do this before ending today's session. New rule violates rule level security policy. Again. Profile pictures. Maybe I'm missing it like this. Maybe. Nope. No, I don't think that we need that. And we haven't uploaded anything, right? There's nothing in the bucket. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? I'm definitely doing something wrong. Maybe what's happening is the allow mine types, but as I think that we did already that, right? I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Okay. Let me try it again then, just in case. Come on, Supabase. No, still applying. Okay. So it's definitely about the policy. It's definitely about the policy. Let's say, okay, policy definition, allowed operation, let's allow to insert, update, select, not delete. Yeah, no, it's fine. I'm not trying to upload an array. The reason why it shows up as an array, it's because even if we only add one file, the file inputs still treat the files as a file list. But that's fine. We are sending the file correctly to Supabase. The problem is that um, the row level security is failing for some reason. Allow to do everything except remove. If I do this, defaults to authenticated. If I do this, is it gonna work? Let's try it. Come on. Oh, okay, all right, it worked. Great. So maybe the reason is because we are upser. Hold on, guys. I know why it was failing. The reason why it was failing is because of this. Absurd. My bad. When we select absurd here, we are telling Supabase, hey, try to upload this, right? But if the file exists, then update the file, right? And the policy that I created, it only allowed to insert, but it did not allow to update. Now it does, because as you can see, we've created the same policy, but both for inserting and for updating, which means that now I should be able, I think that if I delete this and I delete this as well, we only need these two. We need the one for inserting and the one for updating, like that. Okay, great. So let's go to the bucket. Nice. We've got the image, and the image is this non at all scammy image saying send money, please. Okay, good. Nice. So we want to do another thing, and it's that after doing all of this, we want to get the URL from it. Look at this. We've got the public URL, and we want to store that public URL in the user's profile. So I'm going to create another request that it's going to say update user profile, like that. And this is going to be in the profile, will be Supabase, and the method will be, again, update the user. And we are going to update a metadata that will be profile. And this will be coming from r dot upload. Let me see, because for some reason we don't have this. R dot, let's copy it here. R dot upload profile picture dot data dot public URL. So this. So then we are going to be updating the profile metadata key from the user to be this, like that, right? And we want to do this after the request has been successful. So after uploading the profile picture in here, we're going to perform another request that's going to be update the profile picture, not the user profile, with the conditional that there must be a public URL, because if there's no public URL, then we don't want to be updating this. Okay. All right. And after that, we want to do another request that will be get the user again. And the conditional will be that the update user profile. So update user profile, it is okay. So let's do this. Whenever r.update user profile, it is okay, then we want to get the user again. So it's a lot of chaining, but this will make sense. So let's try it. Let's do this image. And if we did it right, did we do it right? Let's see. No row violates row level security policy. We did it again. Maybe I didn't have to remove this. Let's do select. Allowed to do everything except remove again. Let's try to do it. Allow select like that. Review. Save the policy. Oh, it already exists. Allow select. Review, save the policy. Maybe that we need the three things. Let's try it again. Let's choose a file. This. Let's see. It's uploading. Successful. Then we should see how we updated the user profile. Nice. Which means that when getting the user, now we've got the profile here stored. Great. Okay. Okay, great. So the last missing thing, and that's it, we're gonna wrap it for today. It's gonna be that in the image, we want to display the source of the profile picture. So we're gonna add an HTML attribute that's gonna be source. And this source will be the get user data user profile from the user metadata, like that. Let's see. All right, great. Look at that. Yeah. So let me try to add another picture. What picture can I do? Let's add some random picture. What picture do we do? Let's do cool car. Okay, let's just save this. Okay, so let's do this cool car. Nice. Let's try to upload this cool car. So now we should see how. All right, fast enough. Look at that. Great. Look at that. Okay, nice. Let me try to change it again. Let's do the uploading the image. We should probably also display some loading spinner. We can do that in another time. Let's try to change it again. Cool car. Yay, nice. Okay, good. Well, I apologize for having spent so much time with the policies. Summary, if you want to be able to upload and upsert and get the file again, make sure that you add the proper row level security for selecting, inserting, and updating the three things. All right, cool. So this is kind of done. Let's mark it as done. There's going to be let's draw a bit. Let's use some yellow, some green. This is done. So the next thing for the next day, it will be focusing on this, which is the posts and the comments. posting and commenting like that. So this, no need anymore. And this is done again, so no need anymore, right? Silso, I wanted to ask if you can do some stuff sometime using the Wized API instead of configurator UI. No problem if not, but would like to pick up some of the best practices. Probably we will need to use the API at some point, the JavaScript API for this project. So stay tuned. If not, don't worry. I'll try to come up with some idea to use the API in the project. All right. Nice. Okay, so let's wrap it up because we are 20 minutes late, and I apologize for that. But first of all, thank you for everyone who has stayed watching me just go around the policies from Supabase. Next time, we're probably not going to spend so much time in policies. Lesson learned. So again, thank you for being here. And next Friday, we are continuing this project. So next Friday, same time, we're going to be focusing on doing the posts. So everyone, have a good weekend, a good Easter if you're celebrating it, and see you next Friday. Thank you all. Goodbye.